Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Team Forbidden's YouTube page again. It is Andrew the Collector here with another update for one of my more favorite decks of the modern day is Generators. You guys have seen this deck on the channel a few times, so I'm not going to get into too much detail, but there are a few changes, mainly in the side deck, in particular with this deck, that I wanted to get into. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. So we're going to do pretty much the standard. We have 3 Loptar. It's Loptar. You can basically control only one, and during your opponent's turn, all generated monsters that you control gain 1,000 attack and defense. And then during the main phase, you contribute itself to special summon a generator monster from your deck. And along with that, we're going with 3 Vala. Her effect is that you activate it in hand to discard a generator card to special summon her. And then when she is special summoned, you can special summon a generator monster from either your hand or your graveyard, and it does not target, which is good because it gets past called by the grave. And then 2 Har, Generator Boss of Storms. You can only control one. It has a few effects. Its first one is that if a card is added from your opponent's deck to their hand, they have to send a monster from either their field or hand to the graveyard. And their second effect is that you contribute 2 generator monsters and to negate the activation of a card or effect that your opponent controls. Really good on top of a beefy body. And then 2 of the Utgar, Generator of Delusion. Quick effect, tribute 2 generator monsters that you control to target a card on the field and banish it. 1 Nidhogg, tribute a generator monster to negate the special summon of a monster. 1 Hela, tribute 1 generator monster to special summon a generator monster from your graveyard. And then 1 Medel, when she is normal or special summoned, you can add a generator card from your deck to your hand. So really good searcher. 2 Condemned Witch, when she is normal summoned, you can add 1 forbidden quick play spell from your deck to your hand. This can be Chalice, Lance, Droplet, whichever you want, but as you probably know, I'm running Chalice in this one because it's just extra negation. And then her second effect is during your opponent's main phase. Quick effect, you contribute her to special summon a level 4 fairy from your deck, which is Loptar. Yeah, really good. And into the generics, Ash Blossom, Enjoy Your Spring, or as Jarek likes to call it, Salt Bath Water Baby. And 1 Trias. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you contribute up to 3 fairy monsters, special summon this card from your hand. And its secondary effect is that if you tribute 2 or more, you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls, or if you tribute all 3, you draw 2 cards. Really, really good, because the tokens that you spam with the field spell are all fairies. I was running 2 of these, but it was a bit of a brick, so I opted to just bring it down to 1. But it's still really good, and I consider it to be just an honorary generator monster. And that's it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and get into the spells, where we are running 3. Boss Stage. This is your heart and soul of the deck. Without this card, the deck pretty much dies. But you have multiple ways to get to recur through it or get it back if you lose it. Once per turn, if a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand, you can special summon 1 generator monster from your deck to your hand in defense position. This is this is a soft once per turn, which I'll get into in a minute. But the next effect that is a hard once per turn is that if you special summon a generator monster, you can special summon generator tokens to your side of the field. As many as you can. So if you have any open spot, becomes an instant generator token. And to get to your boss stage or any of your other generator spell or traps, activating boss quest, reveal a generator monster in your hand, and if you add up to 2 generator, and if you do add up to 2 generator spell or traps with different names from each of them from your deck to your hand. So it's pretty much an even exchange. You can pretty much clean up your hand with any brick generator monsters, and then get out your boss stage and your trap card. And 3 of probably the second best card in the deck is World Legacy Monstrosity. It has 2 effects. special summon one level 9 monster from your hand, or target one level 9 monster you control and special summon 2 level 9 monsters with different original type and attributes from that face-up target and different names from each other. That may seem like a stretchy cost, but in this deck, you have no problem with it. It's an absolutely busted card. And like I said, I am running Forbidden Chalice. You can run droplets if you want, but I prefer Chalice because you don't have to get rid of any cards to activate its negation effects, which is really good, and it's not once per turn. 2 Kajakuri Curse. It's pretty much trade in for level 9s. 1 Terraforming, because it's terraforming, we can only have 1, and we want to get to your boss stage as quickly as possible. And then 1 Pot of Avarice. You go through monsters pretty quickly in this deck, so being able to recur them, along with being able to draw 2, is absolutely necessary. And into the traps, we have 3 Generator Boss Fight. Activate 1 Generator Field spell directly from your deck or graveyard, and then your opponent draws 1 card. So pretty much if you have this face down, and you have boss stage in your graveyard, you activate this to get your boss stage back, and then your opponent draws 1 card. And since a card was added from your opponent's deck to their hand, the first effect to where you can able special summon out a generator monster from your deck activates. Now here's where this card also comes in clutch. Let's say that you activate this your turn, and then you set this, and then you pass turn. Your opponent draws during the draw phase. This card's effect will trigger to try and special summon from the deck. If they Ash Blossom you, you can chain this to Ash Blossom, exchange this with another one in your deck. They draw a card. The first effect will get negated with Ash Blossom, but then since they draw a card off of this, and this is a soft once per turn, you pretty much repeat the same process. Sure, your opponent gets to draw a card off of this exchange, but if it means being able to get out a monster and being able to set up your board and your defenses, plus probably having your monstrosity or chalices face down, you will pretty much be set up. It may seem like a bad idea giving your opponent extra cards, but believe me when I tell you, you're able to play through it no problem most of the time. And then 3 Solemn Strike. It's Solemn Strike. Again, to get rid of the Ash Blossoms or any monsters that will try and force out negation with your stuff. That's it for the main deck. Let's go into the extra deck. 3 Leviathan. This is the biggest answer to this deck's prayers in terms of interruptions. You can only control 1, and monsters your opponent control loses 1,000 attack and defense. Busted right off the bat. But its second effect is where it really shines. Quick effect. You can tribute this Exceed Summon card, special summon 1 non-fairy Generator Exceed monster, which is going to be this guy. And then you can attach cards from any field and or graveyards to the special summon monster as material up to the number of materials that this card has. So basically if you summon this with 2 materials, you use its effect, and your opponent starts to set their board, you tribute this, and then you steal 2 cards that are either on their field or in their graveyard, special summon this guy out, and then put those cards underneath this as material. And then you can also go into his effect is that this card's original attack and defense become 1,000, equal to the number of materials. So right off the bat, it'll become 2k. And its second effect is that quick effect. You can detach material from this card. Each player draws a card, then each player that drew a card attaches 1 card from their hand or field to this card as material. So it'll basically gain an extra 1,000 attack when you activate this card. Plus, your opponent has to give up a card that they either control or in their hand to this card, which a lot of the times can be a good interruption. So with 1 card, that's basically several different kinds of interruptions and snatching. Next, since it is a level 9 deck, Phantom Fortress Inner Blafnir. Once per turn, you can detach material and basically banish a card from anywhere, opponent's field, their hand, their graveyard, or from the top of their deck. Why wouldn't you run this? And then 2 Infinitrack Earth Slicer. Detach material from this and destroy a card. What's not to like. And if this card destroys a card by battle, you can attach it to this card as material. And then one Agitator. I'm only doing them as a placeholder because he could be a little cheeky sometimes with his graveyard effect, but I really never go into him. One Lingeribo. The I block is still something that you need to respect, so respect the I block and run Lingeribo if you can. And then the last two spots of the extra deck are going to be Entes and Garura. With Voiceless Voice and Dogmatica Maximus and, everything, running around, I'm opting to put these, just to have them if you need them. But yeah, feel free to put in whatever you want into those last spots. Because most of the time, the only extra deck monsters that you go into are these three. And we're basically maxing out on these, but everything else in the extra deck you can pretty much play around with. Now off into the side deck. This is where it gets a little spicy. I am running 3 Psychic Shockwave. Activate only when your opponent activates a trap card. Discard 1 spell or trap to special summon 1 level 6 Dark Machine monster from your deck, which is Jinzo. Labyrinth and Evenly Matched are this deck's biggest nightmares. So let's say that you set this, set up all of your plays, and just go and basically going on with your day. And you set up your board during their turn, and they try and activate Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched, if you don't know, since you control a token, everything else on the board has to go face down except for the token. It is mandatory for that to happen. So when your opponent activates it, you chain this to give them a nice Jinzo jump scare, and Evenly Matched will be completely null and void. Sure, it hits your trap cards too, but the only ones that you're running are your Generator trap card, which is Boss Fight, and Solemn Strike, which if you have Jinzo out and against perfect deck like Labyrinth or even Evenly Matched or any other trap-based deck, it is not a problem. But yeah, Psychic Shockwave and Jinzo I think is actually a very underrated combo if you're not running a lot of trap cards in your deck. And I pretty much guarantee that they're not going to see this coming. And then 3 Triple Tactics Talent. 2 Herald of the Abyss, in case you go up against any cards that are unaffected, like Pure Leads, or if you want to bait out any negations. 1 Change of Heart. 2 Crossout Designator for the Ash Blossoms. And then finally 2 Soundproofing, to combat against any Manadium or any Synchro-based decks. And that is it for the Generator deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Consider joining our YouTube membership to gain cool perks. Hit that bell down below for notifications. And let us know down below in the comments if you want to see any certain videos from us. But until then, we will catch you guys in the next one.